Well, I think it goes back to the previous episodes that we just did talking about metadata, and also talking about how we can protect that information. So once again, linking back to the Privacy Act and requirements there to really concentrate on how we're managing any kind of personal sensitive information that we're holding. So being able to identify where content might be sensitive, might be a particular level of sensitivity, and we might need to treat that information differently as a result, is an absolutely key component for organisations to be able to achieve. So building that in and it's not just one organisation, it's every organisation. You know, we talked about the scope of the Privacy Act has increased significantly. So rather than it just being, you know, I guess the upper echelon of Australian businesses, it's now almost all Australian businesses that need to be thinking about things like this. So being able to identify where you've got sensitive content and then have a management strategy for that is an absolutely critical component of that.
What a lot of businesses do get stuck with. Like, we could do another whole series on that, but just planning and understanding. I feel like there's a lot of wheel turning in that space. It's like, we need governance and security. Cool, okay. And then we need governance and security.
Yeah. Well, people say, I have to classify everything.
Yeah.
And I will say, why?
Yeah.
And I'm all for classification. I'm very pro classification. I just want to put that right out there now. But the first thing I will say to an organisation is, but why? Yeah. I'm honestly the annoying 3-year-old where every time they say, I need this, I'll say, but why? One of the best phrases that I heard and then totally stole was that we used to look at our information like it's gold and we should have as much of it as we possibly can. But actually we should be looking at it like it's uranium and we should have the least amount possible. We still need it, but we don't want to stockpile it kind of thing. Now, if you think about...
I've just got a vision of like the Homer Simpson.
Yeah, that's right, very much so. But if you think about like the way you store gold, you might like store it in a safe or things like that, but you don't need to store it in a lead-based safe with protective equipment and things like that. If you think about how you need to store and interact with uranium, you need to be constantly on it. You need to be constantly monitoring it. You need to have like expertise, people with expertise looking after it and things like that. It's the same with our information. It's no longer a case of, oh yeah, just like keep everything wherever, forever. It's a case of, no, this is something that we have to monitor, we have to assess, we have to make sure it's being treated appropriately. We need to make sure that we've got people who are skilled to be able to do that. And that's where something like a managed service comes in.